I feel like a secret agent. Got my tuxedo shirt, my lavalier mic. So much secret agent. Hello, I'm Spencer Kramer from TCM Films, and this is Minimizing Window Time. Intro.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo.
So what I mean by window time is when you're inside of your compositing software and your computer is being way slower than it should. When I first started off with VFX, the last thing on my mind was window time. But I soon realized that without window time in mind, a simple effect can take way longer than it needs to. In some of my projects where I ignored window time, it would take 20 to 30 seconds just to go to the next frame. That means it was impossible for me to view how my effect looked in real time until I exported it, which is really annoying because when I see a problem with the effect after I've exported it, I have to go back, correct the problem, export it again, see another problem, and it's a painstaking cycle. So window time is obviously a problem, but how can you decrease it? Well, I suppose there's no real way, but the way you order your steps in effect can increase your workflow speed a ton.
Ada, from the top of the steps, or from over there, say, it's time to eat!
So step one is to analyze what you need to do. Think whether you need any rotoscoping, stock footage, and so on. Seems obvious enough, but when you know what you have to do, the order comes easily. Step two is tracking, if needed, of course. To be honest, I wasn't really sure where to put tracking on this list. But I think tracking is an important step, and you need fast speeds for it. However, if your shot is short, I would suggest placing this after the next step, which is masking. Here's why. So say you want to have an explosion happen behind someone. So you stack up all of your explosion layers over your footage, and then duplicate the footage layer and move it over the explosion. Then you draw a mask around the person you need to be in front of the explosion, and then try to rotoscope around him, only to find your computer is being way too slow. If you're trying to roto around one layer, it's not always a big deal, but if you're trying to animate a mask around several explosion assets, it can take a roto from tedious to next to impossible, and that's just with 2D effects. That's why you have to plan your VFX shot carefully to see if you need any rotoscoping or masking in general.
It's time to eat!
Okay.
Next step is adding stock footage and any other 2D effects. Should be simple enough. You have your footage tracked and rotoed. Now just add any 2D effects and animate them. Stack up as many layers as you need. If you're filming an explosion, then this is where you would add the explosion assets, the debris, the bright light, and the bright light that comes with it, of course. And next is any 3D effects. There's stuff like 3D models, 3D smoke effects, and even 2D effects being moved around in 3D space. For anyone who has worked in 3D space knows that this step will slow down the rest of your project exponentially. So that is why this should be done very late in your composite shots, or whatever you call them in After Effects. And then there's motion blur. I remember the days when I used to turn on motion blur before editing. I hated those days. I have said it before and I will say it again. Motion blur takes forever to render. It can take simple animating, go too slow to tolerate. This is a giant warning, especially for new VFX artists. Everything slows down so much more than necessary if you turn on motion blur before finishing all other effects. Well, now the render time list is done, but just another tip is to do your grading and color correction last. Then you can see what your effects look like after it's been graded. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. Like and subscribe, and then go get a piece of toast. Toast. Toast.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor.
Man, that took so much quicker than the last one. I feel like it's gonna be super